The following is an exclusive presentation of Jesup Broadcasting, the sports leader in Southeast Georgia.
World famous. The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
And good morning, everyone. You're listening to the Big Dog WIFO FM in Jesup, world famous Butch and Bob Show for this Monday morning, the 25th day of March. We thank you very much for waking up and tuning in with the Big Dog, world famous Butch and Bob Show for this Monday morning. And hopefully Representative Meeks will call in. Sometimes they get tied up with in committees and stuff like that early in the mornings, but we'll find out. But right now, we're going to talk about our sponsors. World famous Butch and Bob Show brought to you by Mike Birch Ford in Blackshear, by Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street in downtown Jesup, the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup on Broad at Cherry, and by the Wolf Animal Hospital. There he is, by the Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street. All right, Bob, I'm going to go ahead and let you do your thing with them, okay? Here we go.
And again, we got Stephen Meeks on the phone. Stephen, how you doing this morning? Stephen, you there?
Yeah. Oh, yellow button. Oh, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Stephen, you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Again, this Monday morning, Mondays with the Meeks, State Representative Stephen Meeks in Atlanta. Legislative session winding down. On the news, some interesting things about schools, school courses concerning the Bible, computers, and civics, the citizenship test legislation, Senate Bill 219. Tell us about that. I understand it passed the Senate unanimously. They have to have a bill to have people teach civics in school. I didn't know that.
Well, apparently we have to we have to look at things a little bit differently. But the Senate did act on that, and we look forward to considering that over in the House. Bob, we're winding down here in the last 5 days of session. We have 4 days in this week, one committee day, and of course, signing dies next Tuesday, so we've got a lot of work to get done over the next 5 days.
And another one is Senate Bill 108 requires computer science in all high schools and middle schools, sponsored by Senator P.K. Martin of Lawrenceville, Chairman of the Senate Education Committee, also co-sponsored by top-ranking Senator Butch Miller of Gainesville, also backed by Lieutenant Governor. So, do you think that'll pass?
I've heard a little bit of conversation on it, Bob, but again, it's one of those things that as we move forward, things begin to pop up. But we hadn't heard much about the rest of the legislative session, but it's got some great support in the Senate, so we'll see how it fares over in the House.
And then the other one is Senate Bill 83, the Bible Bill, also co-signed by Miller, authored by a lawmaker with leverage at Chairman of the Senate Rules Committee Jeff Mullis, a Republican from Chickamauga, Georgia. He decides which legislation makes or doesn't make the Senate floor, so I guess it's going to the floor for vote. Says high schools can already teach.
Probably would, given that that Mullis is a sponsor of that one, and given that he's Rules Committee Chairman.
It says right now the high schools can already teach the history and literature of the Old Testament, but this would add the Hebrew Scriptures. So, you know much about it? What are we just talking about?
I do not know a whole lot about that one yet, Bob. It'll be one I'll have to take a look at, and we'll chat about next week.
Look, like I said, the session's winding down. As you said, soon they're going to be voting on these bills to decide whether they go to the governor's office for his signature. What all is on the horizon, and what's going to be the hot topics this week?
Well, I think we're going to continue to see a couple of things, Bob. One is the heartbeat bill, as the House has already acted on. The Senate passed it on Friday, I believe, with some changes. So we expect to see that back in the House today or tomorrow. I don't know which one it'll be yet, based on what the leadership decides as far as agenda. But we'll definitely have that one back this week and have the opportunity to debate that one once again, or hear changes that the Senate may. We do have a meeting here in about 20 minutes to learn more about that one. So we'll continue to follow that. Another one that we've been working on, obviously, that's been a hot topic, has been broadband. The House Energy Utilities and Telecommunications Committee last week passed out a Senate bill sponsored by Senator Gooch with some amendments that will allow the EMCs to provide broadband in rural areas. And it's a good piece of legislation, one that we've still got to make some changes to in conference. I believe the House version is a version that allows the EMCs only to go into areas that are underserved, and I've expressed my concern that as we move forward with this legislation and really being able to connect rural America, that at the end of the day, what we need to make sure of is that we're really putting incentives out there that will solve the problem that we're trying to address, which is connecting rural America and rural Georgia in particular. The idea of just putting another competitor in the market sounds good in some cases, but we've got to make sure we're providing incentives to really connect those areas of the communities and rural Georgia that are currently not connected. So that'll be another one that we continue to follow. Obviously, access to rural quality health care is another big issue. Another meeting later today on that, and we'll find out where that stands in terms of what we may see later in this week or early next week. So a lot of bills still yet to be discussed, and a lot yet to be accomplished before we get out of here next week.
Again, if you just joined us, Stephen Meeks on the phone with us from Atlanta State Representative. It's Mondays with Meeks. A couple of bills seem to be dead. Don't hear much more about the takeover of the Atlanta airport. Is that a dead issue now?
Well, the Senate tied that legislative priority to the Delta tax credit bill and passed it. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one moves along, and to use the terminology of one of the governor's floor leaders, sound like the tax credit for jet fuel has been hijacked, which is what it about sounds like. So we'll have some further conversations on that this week to see if it'll come to the floor in its current form, or whether some things will be amended to that before we act on it. But it being that those two are tied together, it's going to get interesting with the debate over here in the House.
The gambling bill, I don't hear much more about that. Does that seem to be dead?
That's one, Bob, I hadn't heard anything on either. I think it's pretty much dead for this session.
Okay, well, like I said, the heartbeat bill seems to be the one getting all the national attention and statewide attention, because it seems to be a very hot topic. Understand, legislators have had to have escorts from police officers to the elevators. That's kind of getting crazy. How crazy has it been on that debate?
Well, it's been pretty intense on both sides. Obviously, it's a very emotional issue, very passionate on both sides, and the Senate during the hearings, I think there were some 4,000 protesters in the Capitol that day, and Friday, walking across the street to the Capitol Friday morning, I don't know, it must have been 40, 45 state trooper cars lining the street between the Capitol and the office building. So there was plenty of folks here to help maintain the peace and make sure that the protesters are allowed to do what they can do, and obviously keep peace at the same time, and provide some protection for those who feel that that's something that was necessary. But it's been very emotional, very passionate on both sides. But I would expect we may see some more this week as the House considers the amendment that the Senate put in and sending it back to us.
And where do you stand on that? What are your constituents? What are you hearing from the constituents on that issue?
Overwhelmingly support the heartbeat bill. I have had some folks to write me in opposition to it, but generally overall, it's very much supportive of that measure.
What about the marijuana bill? I got a thing in the mail this week urging State Senator Blake Tillery to vote against it, but I know that a lot of people see the benefit of it. Where do you stand on that, and what's going on in that bill?
Yeah, I saw that this weekend as well. I had the opportunity to be home for a brief period of time and saw that laid on the kitchen counter. The Senate is taking that up, and we should, I'm hopeful, hear something from them this week on that, where it can get to a conference if there's anything made. Obviously, that's another one that has a lot of concern on both sides. Medically, there are diagnoses that are individuals that have specific diagnoses that would benefit from that treatment. Of course, this bill involves the cultivation of that, which obviously our law enforcement community and others have a big concern with. So hope to see that move forward as well in the Senate as we wind this session down to see where it ends up.
In April 2nd, and that's the deadline for bills to be ready to be voted on. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. April 2nd, midnight is sine die. So everything has to be accomplished before then, or it rolls over to excuse me, next session.
Okay. Well, Stephen, it's always good to hear from you on Monday. Looking forward to hearing you for next Monday. Appreciate the update. Again, just for people listening, you're accessible. You always give out your phone number, email, things like that. So if anybody has an issue, they want to get in touch with you these final days, how do they go about doing that?
Always happy to give me a call here in the Atlanta office at 404-656-0178. Email address is stephen.meeks@house.ga.gov, and just look forward to seeing those who may make the trip up to Atlanta. I believe Mayor David Earl Keith and Mayor Weaver and maybe a couple others may be up this week, so look forward to seeing them. And just keep in touch and appreciate your support, and thanks for all you do for us.
Okay, Stephen, again, appreciate you calling in every Monday. Mondays with Meeks, State Representative Stephen Meeks. Have a great day.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, too.
Thank you, Stephen. WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And, of course, that was Representative Stephen Meeks from Atlanta. Tomorrow we should have Senator Blake Tillery, and then on Wednesday, State Representative Bill Werkheiser. All right, Bob, in the studio with us this morning is the Wayne County High School drama team, or club, whatever you want to call it. And good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good morning. We're doing well. Thanks for having us on.
And you've got a play coming up this week. Is that correct?
We do. Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights is our major spring production. It's a comedy called Stealing Home by Pat Cook.
And is that a comedy, drama, whatever?
Yeah, it's comedy. It's a farce. We have a lot of unusual situations that happen, situational comedy, unusual characters, all blending together to create a lot of laughs for the audience.
Now, Jason, you brought in some folks this morning, some of your actors.
I did.
This morning, they're going to be in the play, so let's go ahead and get started with them. Anything else that you'd like to say about the play or tickets? Or
the play itself, and I'm sure we'll go over this again at the end, play is Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at 7 o'clock each night. Tickets are $8 and are available at the door. We'll open the doors for people to come in about 6:30. 6:30, seats are first come, first serve. Show will start at 7. Show runs a little bit over an hour and a half, full of laughs for the whole family. We've got 11 people on cast, about 15 on crew. We've been working for about 7 weeks to make this show happen. I brought in a few of them with me today.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Who do you want to introduce first, Jason?
The show centers on two small-time crooks who are looking to break in somewhere and make a little fast cash, and they end up breaking into a funeral home without realizing that's what it is. And so let's start with those two small-time criminals. The first is a guy named Cecil, and he is played by Ray Lantrip.
Ray, good morning.
Good morning.
All right, you junior, senior at the high school?
I'm a junior.
Junior this year, and have you been involved with the drama department very long?
Yes, sir. I've been involved since I was a freshman.
Okay, so you loving it? You like doing it?
I love doing it.
And tell us who your parents are?
My parents are Travis and Terry Lantrip.
Okay, now tell us about your character in this play called Stealing Home.
He uses his charm to get himself out of situations. I don't really relate to him in that way, but it's really fun to play.
Okay, and so your character is got a partner, and y'all are crooks, and you accidentally break into a funeral home. Is that what? That's kind of got the gist of it?
Yes, sir. It's they're not very good at their job, apparently.
And tell us, if you cannot relate to someone who uses his charm to be able to get what he wants, how do you bring those emotions up, and how do you act that way if it's not part of your natural character?
It's strange. I feel like I use a lot of TV and movies and other types of charming characters that I've seen and kind of imagine that and just throw myself into it a little bit.
You bring out your inner Brad Pitt?
Stuff like that. Yes, sir.
All right. So you do in your research on how on small-time crooks, on what they do and their mannerisms and, how they act and things of that sort?
A little bit. But
you did? Yeah. Okay. All right. Jason?
Cecil has a partner named Pug. And Pug is a little bit of a dim bulb,
right on
but has a lot of fun. Is one of the most enjoyable characters in the show, and he is played by a newcomer to our program. That's Jared Jones.
Jared,
he's a senior with us. It seems like I always get a senior that tries out for the last play of their senior year, and Jared is the one this year, and we're so glad to have him on board with us.
All right, introduce yourself.
I'm Jared Jones. I'm the son of Cynthia Jones and Gary Monroe.
All right, you senior. Now, what made you the last minute, just a few months before you graduate, decide to go out for a position in the play in the drama club?
Well, first, why not? And
I say why not, but why did you?
Well, everybody kept coming to me. They was like, Jared, hey, you want to try out for the play? I was like, sure. Then every day after that, they was like, hey, you need to come to auditions. Okay, I'm gonna come. Then Mr. Jason, Mr. Martin. Yeah.
Where did that come from? You never go.
Never.
He's nervous. Now, so did I guess your friends thought you had natural talent to be able to act? Is that right, Jared?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Is that just something that comes easy to you?
I mean, I like to be funny, so.
You like to be funny.
Yeah.
And Pope seemed to be the
not
kind of
so
character
smart
you
character.
play.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you relate to him?
Yeah.
Jared's a great guy. He's been in my drama classes for years, and I've been trying to encourage him to try out for the after-school plays for a while, and so I'm so glad he decided to do that this semester.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to say about your character?
I mean, I love being Pug. I mean,
You love being Pug.
I mean, having people to say I'm their favorite character in the play. That's
Makes
A
you
lot,
feel
a
good.
lot
it
of
makes
times
me
the
feel
comic
good, to be
relief
honest.
gets that.
yeah.
But that's great. That's great. I'm glad that you stepped out of your comfort zone there and got out and now in the play, and you'll have that experience throughout the rest of your life. That's great.
Thank you.
All right.
So these two are kind of the focus of the play, with them having broken into this funeral home and trying to decide what happens. It turns out there's a cop that shows up. He saw them break in. He's about to arrest them. But before he can do so, the owner of the funeral home shows up, a woman named Beulah Meadows. And she stops the officer and says, "You can't arrest him. This is my long-lost son who disappeared when he was 7. And she thinks Cecil is her long-lost son, Jimmy. And so this woman who owns the funeral home, Beulah, is played by Chloe Shue.
Is Chloe a few bricks short of a full pile?
No, she is.
If she thought that Cecil was her long lost.
No, Beulah seems very sincere about this.
Oh,
and so the con men decide to try to play along a little bit and see how they can drag this out, see what they can get out of it. But throughout the play, Beulah is absolutely insistent that Cecil is really her son, Jimmy.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
And your name once again?
Chloe Shue.
Chloe Shue, and your parents?
Vicky and Jason Shue.
All right. And you're a senior or junior?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. My, good. Now tell us about your character and how you prepared for it.
Well, Beulah, she's very sweet and kind, and she really does try to see the good in everyone, even though that is a little harder sometimes. But I feel like I really can get into that easily because I am like a very kind of shy, reserved, I like to see the good in people kind of deal. So
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Jason, go ahead.
Yeah. She is very much like Beulah in that kind, sweet-heartedness that really describes Chloe. So in that aspect of it, she's not having to do a lot of acting. But there are times when Beulah, there are 3 daughters as well. I didn't bring them. But she has to kind of crack down on her 3 daughters and get that stern mother's approach. And she does very well with that side of it, too. So I've been very glad to have Chloe on board.
Okay, and is this your first play
this is my 4th play.
that you've actually been in?
Yes,
acting,
I've been in
huh?
all of them.
Okay, wow. She must be really good, Jason.
She's been one of my standards for the past couple of years. Been very glad to have her. She adapts to whatever role I put her in and does a great job with it.
Good. All right, thank you. All right, next one.
There is a woman who works at the funeral home as a mortician and embalmer who, at the beginning, Cecil/Jimmy mistakes for one of his sisters, but it's not. It's the lady named Joan Crandall who works there at the funeral home. And Cecil, part of the reason we think he may be pretending to be Jimmy and going along with it is because he seems to have all of a sudden become interested in Joan. And Joan is played by Isabella Jury.
Isabella?
Yes,
Is that get a little closer to the mic? Close to you can get. Okay, there you go. I'm a tall girl here.
Yes, sir.
And who are your parents?
Misty and Dylan Jury.
Okay, and you're a junior, senior?
I'm
or-
a senior this
You're
year.
a senior this year. So have you participated in other plays?
Yes, sir, I have, on
Okay.
top of doing sports, but this
What kind of
is-
sports do you do at high school?
I did soccer and volleyball.
Soccer and volleyball. All right. And so you're through your sports then, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell us a little about your character in this play.
So Joan is a businesswoman. She is very suspicious of Pug and Cecil the entire play. She's very, I don't know, how do you say that? She's a perfectionist. She doesn't like things to be changed or out of the ordinary. I don't know. She's like all business.
All
in a
business,
way.
huh?
Yeah.
So you work there at the funeral home for Beulah over there, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so what is your interaction with the comedy duo over here that broke into a funeral home?
I'm suspicious of them the entire time.
Oh, well, of course you'd be suspicious.
Like,
They broke
I
into the
do.
funeral home.
Like, I don't know.
But she's also very protective of Beulah. And once she sees that Cecil and Pug are trying to help Beulah, she becomes a little softer towards them.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
there's some change that progresses as the play goes on.
All right. Well, good luck in the play.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We got
And
one
then
more.
the final person I brought is one of our remaining seniors. We actually have very few seniors this year in the program. We had a large group graduate last year, and this year I only have about 5. But another one who's been with us faithfully, she's in a backstage position working with costumes and props. I brought her here with us today, and that's Mac Bush Roberts.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
And your parents are?
My parents are Ruby Roberts and Jeff Bush.
Okay. And once again, junior, senior?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior, so you're wrapping this up. Now, you're back behind the stage.
Yep.
And what are your responsibilities and duties?
Well, I have to make sure everybody is in their costumes at the right times and all the props get out onto the stage and all
Okay.
the small mechanics are
So you're basically the
dealt with.
backstage manager. You make sure that everybody gets out
Kinda.
on stage when they need to go, and they're in the right costume, and so you've got all that done. So how do you prepare to do that? How do you? I guess just the rehearsals, or how's that work?
That's
Yeah,
what
I mean-
rehearsals are for. Yeah.
Just to plan everything out
Are you an organized person?
decently.
I can say I'm not. I admit it up front. I'm not. So see, I would need someone like you if I was in a play like that to make sure that I got the right costume, right time, get me out there on the stage on time. Do you find working with your with the actors? You know, sometimes they can be divas and have attitudes.
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all.
I love everybody in drama.
I'm sure. I'm just kidding. But so you're wrapping this up. So how long have you been doing helping with the drama department?
This is my 3rd year. I did 2 on-stage roles in the past, and
Oh,
then
you
this
have?
is my first backstage.
Okay.
So I've been in a few plays, and I took the classes since I was a freshman.
All right, Jason. Anything else you want to say about her?
No, that's it. I've been glad to have all of these and the others that we weren't able to bring with us today, but I have great students. I always say I'm blessed to work with the best students at the high school. I have a very committed group. They're willing to come night after night and be there for hours of rehearsal to make sure this play is successful. And they do that every semester, and it's an honor to work with them.
Okay. Now, I just want to let y'all know that we are live video streaming. What you see up there is live video stream on BigDogCountry.com. And so people not only can listen to it on 105.5, they can also listen and watch to it on BigDogCountry.com. All that they can do is go to the B&B show and click on it. It's on right now. In a little bit, Jonathan will have it podcast on the BigDogCountry.com. Under the B&B show, you just click on it and then go to archive and go to today's date, and there it'll be for at least a couple of weeks. So you can go watch yourselves when you get off school today, and it'll be there for at least a couple of weeks. So, Bob, any questions or comments for our drama department this morning?
Just look forward to the play. You might want to run down the times and the cost again.
Yeah, once again, the show is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's March 28th, 29th, and 30th. We'll start at 7 o'clock each night. Tickets are $8, available at the door, and hope everyone will come out for a fun show.
Good. Well, actors, students, hope y'all have a wonderful time and a great play. And this one's just all for fun, right?
It's all for fun. There's no competition. This is just to get the kids some more experience with doing theater and to share a fun play with the community.
All right. Well, good luck and have a good day at school. I'm sure y'all just anxious to get out of here and get in classes, right? Ask us some more questions, Butch. All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO. And Bob and I will have a couple of final comments here as we let them to get on out and get to Wayne County High School. Wayne County High School Drama Department play coming up this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, March 28th. 30th and March 28th, 29th, and 30th, 7 o'clock each night at the KK Gold Theater of Performing Arts at the Wayne County High School. Well, Bob, how's your bracket looking?
Looks good. 10 of 16. Like I said, it's still got 7 of 8 possibly, and Final Four still intact, champion still intact, but it almost blew up this weekend. I thought it was gone.
The top seats still in it?
Yeah, the top seats are still in it.
Still in it.
In fact, I think 1, 2, and 3s are basically in it, and not many after that. So, it's kind of gone as expected. But some great matchups this weekend. It's going to be fun to watch.
Okay. And so they don't start to win. Thursday night is when. No, this is Sweet 16, right?
Yeah. Goes Thursday through Sunday. They'll have time to the Final Four by Sunday night.
Okay. So, anything else that's on your mind this morning, or anything that you need to discuss?
Remind everybody, Wayne County's baseball again is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Wednesday game's at home today, and Fridays in Waycross. We'll have the game for you here on Big Dog Country today. 5:50 pregame show, 6 o'clock first pitch. Took 2 out of 3 from Statesboro, and hopefully do the same for Sweet Ware County this week. So, again, had to win that game Friday night. Big win. Nice performance by Jasper Stanfield, a one-hit performance. So, good win for the Yellow Jackets on Friday. Appreciate everybody coming out.
All right, Bob. Have a good day. The time now is 8:29. You're listening to the Big Dog, WIFO, 105.5 FM in Jesup, world famous Butch and Bob Show, brought to you by the Wolf Animal Hospital on West Cherry Street. Also brought to you by the Women's Health Center in downtown Jesup, on Chariot Broad, Murphy Builder Supply on Northeast Broad Street, and by Mike Birch Ford in Black Shield.
The world famous Butch and Bob Show.